Welcome to the Cup Night channel. My name is Shane, and today I am going to be bringing forth a message for you, the collective, who have found this video. Trust that whenever you found this message is when it was meant to find you. Use your own intuition above anything that I say and above all else. And I think we're going to have a pretty interesting one today. So, first of all, happy calendrical New Year to everybody. We are now in January. It is January 3rd, 2026 as I'm recording this, which feels so weird to say. 2025 felt like a really long year for me. A lot happened. Big changes for me. But, here I am on the other side in 2026, year of the fire horse. And I decided to get us an animal guide for this message from my Animal Arc Tarot deck, and we ended up getting the capybara. So, I decided to pull up this image because I'm pretty sure most of us have seen, pardon my voice, I was sick like right after Christmas, all the way up until like this morning, essentially. I feel a lot better today. I still felt pretty cruddy yesterday. This energy of like rest and relaxation coming through with this capybara here in I believe it's a Japanese hot spring. They love the capybara over there. Just look at how like positive this energy is, right? Look at how happy that capybara looks. It looks like a mama capybara depicted here with the two little babies on each side. It's very cute. The words on this card are selectiveness, group bonds, and sway. So we have this energy of being in like a tight, selective group, like your core people, right? Your tribe, I guess you could say, or the people you trust the most. And then also this energy of just like being at ease, at peace, rest, relaxation, those concepts. And my meditation this morning, I actually had a kind of a vision of this as well. I saw myself kind of like just laying back in space as if I was floating in the ocean, you know, like doing a backstroke almost, but like not really stroking, just kind of like letting my arms, you know, and then just floating backwards. And then I softly collided with an asteroid. And you know, when I was seeing this happen, my mind was immediately like, no, that's not how physics works. If you were to collide with an asteroid, you would just be incinerated because of, you know, the speed that you were traveling at, and you know, which it makes sense. But this is imagery, right? It's not about rationality or how things work in the physical realm. It's about the imagery of the message. So I had to, you know, tell my mind to kind of shut up and just let the vision play out and not get in the way, right? And so once I did that, I was able to settle back into the vision. And so I softly collided with this asteroid and just gently landed on the surface, got up, looked around, and all around me there was just these oasis-like places, like little ponds with like, you know, palm trees and tons of lush vegetation and fruits and vegetables growing all around and soft little critters everywhere. And I walked up to one of these oases on this asteroid and just kind of sat there, drank some of the water. And then I had this vision of like this really long, thin snake coming at me, like, you know, kind of violently charging at me. And right before it was about to strike me, this bear came out of nowhere and kind of like just like clawed it in the face, and it fled after that. So lots going on there. That was pretty much the whole vision. But it's this idea of one colliding with so improbabilistically, right? Colliding with something in space and surviving, and then it turning out to be this like paradise on this alien asteroid, and then also being protected from the dangers that may be there. Like I was, you know, there was nothing I could really do to defend myself against, like I could, you know, but the snake could still bite me on my arms, right? And if it was poisonous, I would have been poisoned. But the bear just came out of nowhere and just like smacked it away. So it's almost like finding this paradise asteroid, right? This little selective thing in space, and then it having all of these resources to survive and thrive, and also being protected from the dangers that might be there. It's a very specific thing, I know, but that's what we're dealing with here. So, I am going to pull some cards, but I do always like to mention the planetary influence of the day, which is Saturday as I record this, so Saturn Day. I will be connecting to the energy of Saturn, who, if we look with our observational abilities, we know is in the sign of Pisces. This is not Western tropical, this is just where it is in the sky, according to science, right? Nothing wrong with Western tropical, it's a seasonal astrology, like a coordinate system. This is just observational astrology, or astronomy, I guess you could say. And I like connecting with this energy, blending spirituality and science together. So, Saturn and Pisces, and if we zoom in a little further, you'll see Neptune is there too, pretty close to Saturn. So we've had this Neptune-Saturn kind of like group bond going on for quite a while now. They both were retrograde for a long time in 2025, and now they're both moving direct again together. And they will actually conjoin, according to Western tropical astrology, at 0 degrees of Aries sometime this year. I think it's in February, maybe, or maybe it's this month. I'm not sure. But we don't want to get too hung up on that. I just want to take a look at the, they call it True Sky astrology chart, and you'll see Saturn and Neptune here, pretty close to each other. Saturn at 6, Neptune at 9, both in the 12th house in Pisces. So Pisces natural house, right? The 12th house. This has to do with hidden things, right? Things below the surface, the deep waters. They also call this the house of hidden enemies too. So like that snake in the Oasis, right? So I'm gonna go back to the capybara image because it's very comforting. I like having this here. But look, the capybara is submerged in water, right? So it's very Piscean energy here. Oh, also, I was just looking around this desk and living in this house where there was a bunch of stuff left behind by the previous owner. And this is not my house, I'm just staying here for now with my boyfriend. It's his parents' house, but yeah, the previous owner left behind a lot of stuff. And this is one of the things that I just found today, this morning inside the desk. It's 2 clay pots tied together with a ribbon, and immediately I just thought, oh my god, it's Pisces. Look, the 2 fish tied together with this ribbon. Cups, right? Cups in tarot represent water. Pisces is a water sign, and we have this ribbon knotted together. One of these ribbons is shorter than the other, and we have green and blue coming through here. So communication in the heart space. But yeah, and I mean, just look at that. Even the length of the ribbon, and this over here, this one's shorter, this one's longer, and the blue one is longer, the green one is shorter here. So I just thought that was very interesting to find this like Pisces symbol here in the desk. I don't know what that would have been for. I have no idea. Maybe some kind of award for something, I don't know. Alright. Sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained. Like I said, I've been feeling pretty unwell for the past couple days going into the new year, which was a little disappointing, but it's okay. Everything happens for a reason. I see it as a forced pause, and there's definitely an emphasis on taking time to rest and relax and recover, rejuvenate, right? This is not, even though it's the year of the fire horse, which people would think means like go, 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 you know, it's actually starting off, at least from my experience, quite different. It's a very slow, like, okay, we need to ease into this and just relax and take a breath, because 2025 was a very intense year for a lot of people, myself included. Even though there was a lot of times where I had to relax, a lot of space for me to relax as well. Alright, let's start this off with a saying. I always love to do this. So, Spirit, please give us the most appropriate saying for this message today. Thank you. Oh, whammy. Wow. It's just a single word, whammy. Things to say. You know, this reminds me of, I was wanting to mention this. I didn't know this, but capybara originates in South America, and we actually had, for the world news stage, a really big event released today, this morning, about Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela was captured. The USA captured the president of Venezuela. I mean, that's insane. This is huge news. I'm not saying if it's right or wrong. I'm not going to be giving those kinds of opinions here, but it happened, and it's a really big event. And not only him, but his wife, too. Maduro and his wife. And they attacked 3 cities in Venezuela as well. I'm not really sure why they had to do that, but they did. Yeah, crazy. Just big stuff happening today. So whammy. Today is definitely a whammy on the news front. You may hear something close to your own, like I said, kind of close selective groups, right, is what we're dealing with here. Some kind of more personal news around this time. We do have the full moon also in, it's in Gemini if we look at the moon with our eyes, but if you go by Western Tropical, it's in Cancer. So either way, you're dealing with these close relationships. Yeah, one more emotional, one more mental. So it's kind of this blend for me, because I like to use both systems. So it's this blend of the emotional and the mental, intellectually and emotionally processing events. And on the bottom for the archetypes today, we ended up with Apocalypsis, which is all about big reveals, and whammy, right? Whammy. We had a big reveal this morning. You know, the USA abducts Nicolas Maduro. That's, yeah, insane. So, if you haven't had any big news today, maybe just keep your ears, your eyes, your senses alert to things going on around you, because you're definitely right for that kind of energy at this time. And in my previous readings, I actually had today marked as the potential for something big to happen, and lo and behold, it did. And I actually had, it was the 3rd through January 10th, so this whole week from today, the next 7 days essentially, you know, very, seems to be a very important time for things happening. The 10th is the 3rd quarter moon. Today is the full moon. So the period between the full moon and 3rd quarter moon. I know I'm going into a lot of like really specific things here today, but I feel it's important for the message. So if you're still with me, thanks for hanging in there. I am going to pull cards, don't worry. But it's all important. Like I said, use your own intuition, use your own reflection of your life to see how this relates to you and how this is playing out in your space. Okay. On the bottom for the tarot, we started off with the 4 of Wands. Like I said, the home, close connections, right? On this particular version of the 4 of Wands, it says celebration on the bottom. And you can see all these wands are lined up right next to each other, straight in a row. They're all in harmony and tune. But this card, we're going to dig deeper into it. I feel it is important for this reading because it has gone along with everything I've been saying so far. So there may be a whammy of a reveal, right? Related to the house, the home, close social groups, family, things like that. So we're going to dig a little bit more into that and see what goes on. And I'm just going to leave this capybara just as a reminder, because first of all, I love this image, and second of all, just remind us that, you know, despite what's going on in the world or around us, you know, however bad the news appears, we can always tap into this energy of just peace and calm, and remind ourselves that we're okay. Things are going to be okay. We're going to softly collide with something, and there may be something there that has some kind of malintent, but we're protected, right? The bear swiping the snake away, right? Alright, let's go a little bit further here. Spirit, what can we know about this reveal related to the home, related to close circles, people? Oh, okay. Page of Wands. Yeah. So I've been picking up on this specific card for a long time now, like months. And every time it comes up, it makes me think of a baby. Even in my dreams last night, I was having dreams of like children and a new baby actually. So this could be literal for some of us, that there is a new child entering the picture. Related to your family, this could be your baby, it could be someone around you, someone close to you, a close friend, a close family member, something like that. And we have the High Priestess on the bottom, so like it's just this confirmation of this like intuitive hit, right? Of this intuitive knowing that, okay, there's something new out there that is coming into this very intimate space, right? To the home. Capybara, right? Intimate. Like I said, the words on this card: selectiveness, group bonds, sway. So it could be this this new baby, or this new energy even, or a new idea, new project, something like that, entering a very intimate space within your life. And it seems like it could sway things, because the word sway is standing out to me on this capybara card. It could kind of change the dynamic of this intimate circle that you have, this bond. Whatever it is, it's going to be definitely a reveal of some kind. It's something. It seems to be something that was hidden, especially because we're dealing with Saturn in the 12th house, the house of hidden things, right? Alright, let's get a little bit more. What else can we know about this Page of Wands, Four of Wands, please, Spirit? And I think that's why we have this restful, peaceful energy coming through, because with the tarot we have all this fire so far, very fiery energy, right? So it seems to be something exciting. And exciting things can be really good, and they can also be really bad, right? Depending on your perspective, and it's going to be different for everybody involved. But, yeah, let's see. What else can we know about this Page of Wands, Four of Wands, please, Spirit? Thank you. Two of Swords. Yeah, so like I said, it's going to be different for everybody. Two of Swords is like being stuck in the middle, sitting on the fence, not sure which position to take about something, right? It's being in that state of indecisiveness, of the in-between of making a decision, making your mind up about something. What else, Spirit? Alright, I'm feeling that I should just pull some cards. I'm going to pull 3 more. Okay, we have the Devil on the bottom. Yeah, so once again, 12th house and the Devil. So we are dealing with something that was done in secret, that was probably not so above board, is how I'll put it. This particular Devil card actually says temptation on it. So I'm almost getting this energy of like infidelity when talking about like a baby, you know what I mean? This also could just be, it doesn't necessarily have to be a baby, but it could just be like a new relationship, right? A fresh new relationship with a person. Sorry, I don't know why the cards are so dark on here, but hopefully you can see them well enough. But it's like a relationship for somebody who already has an established family, right? Like they already have an established, maybe they have a partner already, or they're married, or they're in a long-term relationship with kids, and maybe no kids involved, you know, could go either way, but let's see. Yeah, Seven of Swords, deception. Yeah. There is definitely something that happened here in the dark, hidden, 12th house, right? Temperance, this is that capybara in the spa energy there. I mean, look at that. She's got 1 foot in the water, 1 foot out, kind of hovering over the mountains in the background there, reminding us to be grounded, but also to be tapped into our feelings and our intuition. But above all, to be in harmony with the environment, not to lose our cool, right? That's kind of an advice here, I see. And then Two of Cups. Two of Swords, Two of Cups. So we have the mental and the emotional coming through again. Yeah. So this definitely has to do with partnerships. There's definitely a deception around some kind of partnership, close group bond. Doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, though it does heavily feel that way. And once again, remember our saying, right? Whammy. Yeah, this is a whammy. Whatever this reveal is, it's a whammy. Alright, let's get some archetypes here to go a little bit deeper. I'm just going to leave this white page open because it adds a little more light. Oh, okay, so I had the ocean flip out directly onto the Page of Wands here in the upright. Number 35 could be significant. So there's a lot of deep feelings, 12th house energy, Piscean energy, right, surrounding this. Yeah, this is big. Whatever this is, it's big. It's big news. It's a big reveal. I mean, just think of how massive the ocean is. It's the majority of planet Earth is the ocean, right? And it's all connected. That feels important to say. It's all connected. So everything that's going on here, with Venezuela, the U.S., Maduro being captured, the announcement being made to the world, it's somehow on different levels. This all trickles down to all of us, right? So I'm being guided to mention that everything is connected. Everything influences everything else. Everything that happens is happening all up and down the stack, right? It might not all happen at the same time, but the energy kind of like moves through the different levels, right? So just keep this in mind when you're out in the world experiencing things. It's always a reflection of you at some level. And it's not always easy. You know, you're not always just going to immediately be like, oh, I get it, that's this. It's not like that. It's like the ocean. It's very malleable and it moves, and sometimes the waves are huge and crazy, and sometimes they're really nice and calm, and everything in between that, right? So it's not so cut and dry. It's not, yeah. What I'm trying to say is take your time and be like this, once again, capybara, and just see how like zen he is with this little orange or tangerine or whatever that is on top of his head. Like that's the level of zen you need to be whenever you're processing these things. And yeah, even in this depiction of the ocean, here, let me put it back so we get a little more light. It's very calm and reflective, right? Look at that. It's a reflection of the sky and the ocean, the mind and feelings. Once again, we have this like parallel between swords and cups, air and water, mind and feelings, and keeping them in like balance, right? Just like in my meditation, my vision, I was having this vision, and it was smoothly going along. I was just going with the flow, and then whenever I was like intellectually analyzing my body hitting the asteroid, I was like, no, that's not how it would happen. You would die. But that's not the point. It's about the symbology. It's about the symbolic value of the experience, not the hard science of it, right? It's not always the hard facts and figures. It's the symbolic meaning of it. And that does seem to be where the emphasis lies on this message today, is get out of your head, right? And balance it with your heart. Keep these two in balance with each other, right? Let the symbols speak to you, and don't try to overanalyze them. Oh, okay, we had a lot fall out there. Yeah. The underworld. Things happening below the surface, in the dark, hidden, hard to see. We have quite a few things coming out here. We have the mask, yeah, something's been hidden, but now it's being revealed. in relation to a partnership of some kind. The mirror, like I was just saying, everything is a reflection of you. We have the full moon depicted here, so emphasis on this full moon energy at this time. That landed on the Seven of Swords, deception. Interesting. So if you've been aware of this deceptive energy for some time, like I said, I've been picking up on this for a lot, like months now. It feels really big. Maybe that's why it's been lingering for so long, because it's just been in the background, kind of, bubbling. And then finally, we had the siren land on Temperance here. Yeah, an alarm, a call, a wake up, right? This is the reveal, right? The siren. It's calling you towards something dark and mysterious and full of this energy, right? And on this particular card, I believe it's a ruby that's depicted there, but it looks like an egg. It's in the shape of an egg. And it's giving me this dark, like, lustful energy. And lust doesn't always have to be in relation to sex. It can also be about, like, being greedy and, lusting after material things like that. But in this case, especially with the devil on the bottom here, I do feel this very lustful energy coming out here in relation to temptations from others outside of a partnership. Alright, let's get a figure to go a little bit deeper here. Let's see. Oh, okay, it's very tiny. So I'm going to have to zoom in. Sometimes it gives me these really tiny ones. But you can see it if you zoom in. Okay, it's looking like a chess piece. It's a pawn, yeah. It also looks like the number 1, which 2026 is a 1 year. 2025 was a 9 year, and now the cycle has reset. We are in a new beginning, a 1 year, right? What was before must change for this new cycle, to initiate this new cycle. That could be why we have this big reveal energy coming through here, because it's like, okay, what was going on in the last cycle can no longer continue in this new cycle. Like, we're not going to do that. So yeah, a pawn. So this is giving me the obvious inclination that somebody was used as a pawn in some way. Somebody was a tiny piece, right? It's literally a tiny piece. I had to zoom in. See, I had to zoom in 360%, a full circle, right? Completion again, right? Going from the 9 to the 1, full circle. And you can see that up here, 360. But yeah, somebody was used as just a tiny little piece in a larger game. It's kind of a sad message. It's, yeah, my heart goes out to anyone. If this is you being used, I'm so sorry for you, but like I said, just maintain that balance, that peace. Focus on the good. Whenever the bad comes up, you gotta balance it with the good. Whenever bad things start coming up that you perceive to be bad, then you gotta remind yourself what are all the good things in my life right now. You gotta balance those scales. It's okay to acknowledge that the things that you think are bad, right? Call it what it is, right? Be honest, but also be honest about all the good things, all the blessings in your life as well, so that you can maintain this harmonious state. Don't let it throw you off, whatever all this is. However it relates to you. If this is a relationship that's around you or a relationship that you're in, either way. I know it's easier said than done, right? Yes, it always is. But this is just a reminder, this is the message, to try to maintain that balanced state. Alright, so let's get some nouns here. Yeah, trouble. Haircut. Oh my gosh, that's funny. So I'm just going to go with these words, they seem relevant. My boyfriend and I, we give each other haircuts, so I just got my haircut the other day and I cut his too. But trouble, haircut, flight, somebody trying to flee the situation. Smile, this is that balance, right? Smile. And it's not about being fake. It's about smiling for the right reasons. Like, yes, there may be some things you find out that are not so easy to hear, but you can smile for the things that are good, that are actually good in your life. It's okay to be upset, but also don't let it just completely drown you, right? Piscean energy, right? Pisces it's this energy of like going super deep, and that deepness can also be deep into like a depression, right? The ocean, right? Just so much confirmation of Pisces in this reading today. Square, yeah. So square in astrology is what's coming to my mind immediately, and that is, it's a hard aspect. It's a being at odds between two celestial bodies, right? So once again, this is not an easy energy to deal with, but the opportunity for square energy is to balance, right? Temperance. That's why this keeps coming out. Also, this is the Sagittarius card in the tarot for the major arcana, and the sun for true sky astrology is in Sagittarius right now, with Venus and Mars, and Mercury joining them soon. So huge activation of this temperance energy, this balanced energy. Just think of like a bow. Whenever the bow has to be perfectly balanced in order for it to fire an arrow, right? You fire it kind of in the middle of the bow as you're pulling back, and that tension just has to be just right in order for it to go where you want it to go. So it's all about balance and taking good aim and staying focused on the things that truly matter. See, yeah, just relax. It's like sit down, right? Take a seat. You know, deep breaths. Relax. The details matter. In whatever's going on, whatever this reveal is, the details matter. So make sure you get specific. You know, the initial reveal may get your emotions all worked up, but before you start asking questions, maybe you need to sit down, calm down, breathe, and then ask clarifying questions. Design. Yeah, this makes me think of that pawn piece we saw for the figure, right? I guess it zooms out on all the tabs when I do that, but anyway, it was a tiny little pawn piece, but it's like being part of this larger design, right? As we all are, ultimately. We're all in life together, which is this grander design that we're all playing a tiny little part in. So that's a reminder, is to don't forget that you're just a small piece in a larger picture. But also, it does seem like something was designed for a specific reason. You may have pets with this person, or if it's somebody that you is around you, they might have pets with their person who's going through this. Pets are loyal, right? You take care of them, you feed them, you're nice to them, and they love you. Pretty much unconditionally. I mean, I won't say unconditionally, because if you abuse them and you don't feed them, obviously they can hate you, like people, right? But pets they're like children, right? You have to take care of them. It can be a group effort if it's something within a relationship or within a group. But it's this idea of shared responsibility, pets. Shared responsibility. And note. This reveal could be coming through an actual note. Whether that's like a handwritten note, a letter in the mail, something like that, or a text message, an email, some kind of communication that was like typed or written. Deliberately created in order to reveal something, right? Lunch. Okay, yeah, lunch. This could be happening at a lunch gathering. Maybe you'll receive a message while you're at lunch, or while you're having lunch. Seems like and it's in the 11th position here, which is all about community. So it's like going out to lunch with someone, right? And then getting a message. And then finally rabbit in the 12th position, the 12th house. Yeah, so following the rabbit, right? Chasing the rabbit. This is like trying to get all the detail, right? Number 7 of swords, about the deception. About what happened, why it happened, what's going on, what's really going on here. Yeah. this full moon feels like a really big one. They call it, excuse me, sorry, lots of confirmation burps. They call it the wolf moon in January. I believe that comes from like Celtic tradition, is where that comes from. So that could be relevant to you, important to you. There are other names from indigenous tribes in North America. One of them I saw was like the frozen moon or the silent moon, which is kind of funny because it's like the opposite of frozen and silent is kind of like the opposite of the wolf moon, right? Wolves, when we think of that, we think of howling at the moon, and when they howl, they're communicating. They're sending out a message. They're saying, "Hey, I'm over here. You're over there. Come over here," something like that. Bringing closer together, becoming closer together as a result of a big reveal, which may not be so comfortable to process, right? Trouble. It's going to trouble your ego. The first house is all about the self, the ego, essentially. So it's going to trouble your ego, right? Okay, yeah, I'm actually liking, let's go through these words in relation to the 12 houses. So the second house, material value as well as like personal values. So there's a change, right? A haircut is a transformation of your appearance. There's a change in your values as a result of this situation. Third house is your close relationships, right? Like it could be like brother, sister, but like those kinds of like really close communal relationships. Seems like there's a flight, somebody trying to flee a close relationship of some kind, as a result of whatever this is. Fourth house is about your foundations, right? Your ancestry, your home, right? Four of Wands. And then we have smile. So there's a reason to smile, despite whatever is going on here. And it's related to foundations, your roots, right? Fifth house is that passionate energy. So it seems like this is where the problem is coming from, the square energy, right? It's stemming from the fifth house, which can be about infidelity and cheating and passionate encounters. It's also about creativity and following your passions, right? And the things you are passionate about in life. So, yeah, it does seem to be emphasizing the fifth house energy related to this here. Sixth house is about health and service to others. So, seat, right? This is, sit down a moment and come back into balance, like I was saying earlier. Before you try to go and help others, or maybe just sit down for a moment and evaluate everything and make sure that you're good. Like I said, I've been sick for the past couple days, and so I had to actually take a seat heading into this new year and just kind of like not do anything essentially and just heal, right? Seventh house is others, right? It's the reflection, the mirror. I'm actually curious about the number on this card. Let's see, we have 50, 60, 65, 68, which breaks down to a 14, which is a 5. Okay. So 68, 14, 5, those numbers could mean something to you. But anyway, 7th house is about the other, right? People, places, things. To me, it's anything outside of the self, because the 7th house is opposite the 1st house on the wheel, right? See, if we look here, 1st house, 7th house. So it's the complete opposite of everything to do with the ego. So it's everything outside of your perception of yourself, is how I view it. But yeah, details. Details in the outer reflections, right? They're important. They seem to be highlighted at this time. They're very important. 8th house is shared resources, intimacy, secrets, right? Design. Yeah, something was designed to not be known, is what I'm picking up here. It was planned, essentially. It's like, I mean, obviously when deceptions occur, right, the person who is doing the deceiving, or the people who are doing the deceiving, don't want a certain group or person to know what is going on. So it is a design, right? It's designed that way. This just seems to be confirming that something was hidden. 12th house. 9 is about adventure and higher knowledge, right? Learning about the world, the larger picture. And we have pets here. Pets in the 9th house. This one's tricky. Nothing is immediately being sparked within me. Yeah, I'm not really sure. The only thing that I'm getting here is that there may be an adventure on the horizon where you have to consider your pets. Like, who's going to watch them? Who's going to take care of them? Right? Because the 9th house is the house of adventure, like going out into the world and exploring and learning things from cultures that you don't know much about. Like going places that you're not familiar with, right? In order to expand your horizons. Alright, and then 10th house, this is the career or public facing house, right? And we have note. So this message could be related to something to do with your career or what you do publicly, right? It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be getting paid for it. It's just like this, what I'm doing right now, this is public. Like, I'm putting it out there for people to see. So I could get a message about this, right? 11th house, I already went over this. Having lunch with someone out in the community, right? It's like connecting to the larger community. And then 12th, chasing the hidden things, rabbit. Chasing the rabbit down the hole. The 12th house is basically the rabbit hole, right? It's the depths. It's also the end before the beginning, right? Before you go back to the first house. Yeah, so this is a big reveal for those who this message is for. Alright. But it's a soft collision, don't forget that. That meditation vision I had felt very relevant to this message. And in the vision, I softly collided with this asteroid, which was an asteroid of oasis, right? It's like, yes, there's this impact, but it's very, you can have a soft landing if you allow yourself to. Don't let your mind get in the way, because then you're going to imagine yourself exploding, right? Which is what I did. But if you just control your mind and you say, wait, just let it play out, then you can softly land and find yourself on this beautiful oasis asteroid flying through space. And yes, there may be some hidden enemies even here, but you're protected, that bear, right? You have this very protective force around you that you may be completely unaware of, and when something tries to strike you, it just comes out of nowhere, and it's like, no, get out of here. Okay, let's get some advice to close up this message. I always like to do verbs, and then I will pull some cards if necessary to go a little deeper on the advice. I'm going to reduce these because 12 is too many, so we'll just do 30. Today's the 3rd, so why not? Alright, Spirit, please give us the most appropriate verbs for the advice relating to this message. Thank you. Drown, Piscean energy again, right? Join and hunt. Wow, okay. These are pretty intense. Drown and hunt are very intense. Join feels, that's 2 of Cups. That's the coming together energy, right? That's the being selective about who's part of your inner circle, who gets to know the intimate details of your life, right? Who gets to partake in your joyous energy, right? And drown obviously goes with this Piscean ocean energy that we've been picking up on this in this reading. Alright, yeah. Let me pull some cards. I'm going to put these back. Drown, join, hunt. What I'm immediately picking up on from these is that you are not going to be alone in feeling down about whatever this reveal is. You will have somebody with you, or people with you, maybe more than one. And it's actually going to give you a reason to come together to try to figure out what happened, to hunt down the details of what happened, right? Like, you're not going to be alone in processing this. You're not going to be drowning alone, right? There may be this feeling of drowning, right? But you're going to have others to join with you in order to figure out what exactly is going on here. Like, what, like I said, this is a big reveal, so whatever it is, it's going to upset not just you, but others too. So it's going to give you a reason to come together. Yeah, Knight of Swords, motivation. Yeah, you're going to be motivated to hunt down something as a result of this. Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah, and then the Hierophant, the Tower, yeah. Like I said, this is a big thing. This is a big reveal. Big release of energy here. Something that could have been hidden for quite some time. The Hierophant, this one literally says join together on the bottom, so join being emphasized here, so coming together in order to find out the details, right? Knight of Swords, hunting down the details. The first quarter moon could be significant. We have that depicted on the background here for as far as like movement regarding this. The sun, yeah, clarity, yeah, success, finding the details, a light being shined on the details, yeah, Queen of Wands. Confidence in this mission, in this coming together, and then the star, yeah, healing. Healing, and once again, this energy reveal, the sun and the star together. I mean, that's like, you're gonna know exactly what happened. The details will come to light, the truth will surface as a result of this coming together to try to figure out what happened. This is that selectivity, right? Capybara, guardian here, helping you to be selective about the group that you identify with, the ones that you choose to come together with to work through all of this. So I love that. That's great. So wrapping this up, there's an acknowledgement of a very difficult time ahead, if it's not already happening, which, my condolences for whatever that may be for you, but there's also an acknowledgement of support, right? Protection, the ability to come together with a close, selective group in order to get through this and to come to healing and truth, clarity. Yeah. So don't get too caught up in your feelings if you feel like you're drowning. Just know that you can join with others and they can help pull you out of those depths, and you can get on the move to finding that truth, that clarity, and that healing, and that light. It's going to bring you to a very confident place, Queen of Wands. You're going to feel magical and alive, despite whatever this is. Alright, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here with me through this message. I hope that it was helpful to you, that you found something useful in here for your life. At the very least, that it was entertaining. And yeah, as always, take care of yourselves. Keep your heart open. Bye!